Well, it's now time to welcome in Madeiras Director of Instruction, Chris Mayson. Chris, welcome to KUSI's 19th hole.
Thanks for having me, Rick.
Yeah, before we start, let's talk about one of your students, Brendan Steele. He finished tied for 28th with a 3-under today. You said you helped him this week. What did you do for him?
Yeah, I was out there on Tuesday working with Brendan, and we're working on rhythm of the putter and a bit of putting process. And he had a good finish today, and he can take the momentum into Phoenix next week, where he usually plays well.
All right, and let's talk about just the round in general, kind of your thoughts from the round here.
It's a great final day, wasn't it? We had 19 people within 2 shots of the lead on the back nine. I mean, you really can't ask for anything more exciting than that. And really an exciting finish, and eventually Scott Stallings managed to come to.
Let's talk about the Stallings fella. He's not really well known on tour. I mean, at least to, regular Joes. Why was this guy able to do what he was able to do today?
Well, it's the old adage, isn't it? Drive for show and putt for dough. He really didn't drive the ball very well at all. But he was #1 in the strokes gained putting statistic, which basically proves he was the best putter of the week. So he held a clutch putt on 15 from about 20 feet for par, another one from 6 feet on 17 for par, and then, in my opinion, it was the shot of the week, his 4-iron into the last hole that just made it over the pond.
Now let's talk about Pat Perez real quick. The guy was hitting the ball great today and sat there on the fairway on 18. Let's go ahead and roll the video 2 shots back. Instead of going for the green in 2 and having a chance to win, he decided to lay up. Why did he decide to lay up?
I can only imagine that Perez didn't have a good number into the green there. The only way you get that shot close from that kind of distance is by hitting a high cut into that front left pin. So I can only imagine he didn't have the right yardage for his hybrid or a long iron, so he decided to lay it up. And a lot of the times we see those wedges go really close and maybe even in. So he ended up hitting it close, tapped it in, and finished second. So he really did San Diego proud.
Let's hear from him after his round about Elena.
I couldn't make 3 going for the green, because my rescue would have flown in the water, and my 3 would have gone over the green. And over the green, depending on where you hit it, I didn't think I could chip it in, so I thought, I'll hit it to about 90 yards. And like you see all the time, the guy hits and it spins down, and I don't know how it didn't spin any more than that. I hit a perfect shot, and I thought it would spin, right into the hole, and just came up a little short.
Now, I got to ask about some of the other guys. How much do nerves come into play when you have so many players within a shot of the lead? It seemed like all of them, except for Stallings, basically played themselves out of it. Is it something with your psyche?
There's so many players in with a chance of winning that obviously nerves are going to come into it. That's when it's important that you run your process and do a good post-shot routine. I really thought Jordan Spieth and Gary Woodland were going to come out on top, and they were looking good going into the final 9 holes, but they just started spraying it all over the golf course, hitting the rough, and even though they made some great up and downs on number 10 and 11 to stay in it, they just kept hitting the rough, and eventually the South course showed its teeth, and they finished way down the pack.
And here are some of those guys talking about how they played themselves out of it.
Played all right. I just hit a couple drives offline. Missed a short putt on 10 for par, unfortunately, and all in all, I was hitting it where I was looking, and I gave myself a few opportunities.
It had nothing to do with being in the lead for the first time. I just lost control of the golf ball. My ankle's pretty messed up. All in all, I had no control over the golf ball today whatsoever with any club. It was tough.
Now, the other thing that I noticed about this golf course was the change from Saturday to Sunday. Saturday, we saw guys struggling just to make par, and Sunday, the course played almost a shot and a half easier. Now, why do you think they changed the course so much from Saturday to Sunday?
I think it was a good move from the tournament director. It looked like he put the par 5s, the tees up on the par 5s, which I think was a good move. It enabled the bombers to not have quite the advantage that they did the first few days. And some of the shorter hitters were able to get back into the leading pack and get the ball close on the softer greens. So it was a good play and made for an exciting finish.
Do you think that was their strategy originally, kind of have everybody separate on Saturday and then on Sunday have everybody kind of come back to the pack to make it exciting?
I'm not sure that. I mean, obviously, people think Tiger Woods is going to win, so, I never know what the strategy is, but it made for an exciting finish today.
Speaking of exciting finishes, there were no Tiger Woods, no Phil Mickelson, but I thought it was a heck of a golf tournament. Do you think that'll translate into people watching and kind of your thoughts on the golf tournament in general?
I think it was a great showcase, obviously, wasn't it, for Torrey Pines and San Diego. It showed beautifully on camera, and I just hope that the tournament is remembered for Scott Stallings' great shots down the back 9 rather than the shots that weren't hit from Tiger and Phil today.
And speaking of Tiger and Phil, I have to ask you this question because we always seem to ask it. these guys have really come back to the pack, or Tiger's come back to the pack, to basically play the same. I mean, do you think Tiger Woods has another major left in him?
I definitely think he's got another major. I mean, he's, in my opinion, the best player who's ever played the game, and will most likely break Sam Snead's tournament record this year. So he'll win a major. It's just his first tournament. He looked very rusty and got on a really bad run yesterday, and the South course really took advantage of him.
So from a golf director of instruction who does golf tips, there's nothing to read into that horrible round of 79, which I would be so happy with on the South yesterday.
Not at all. He'll probably win next time.
All right. Chris, thank you very much. He's out at Madeiras if you are looking for instruction. You've seen his golf tips, and there he is live and in person. I'll tell you what, he's one heck of an instructor. He's helped me, and I wasn't helpable. Chris, thank you for coming in.
Thanks so much for having me, Rick. Cheers.
All right, definitely. Chris Mayson. He's
just like that.
That's just like that. Oh, we should have had him drop it just like that.
Can you say that for us, just like that?
Can we do a Chris just like that?
Go ahead, say it.
Go ahead, Chris.
Camera, say it.
Just like that.
Just like that.
See?
All right, now
we
feel so much better.
That's like a pro.
I'm going to get a catchphrase shirt. This is just like that. All right.
All right.
Well, thank you very much. We'll catch up with you at 10.
Excellent.
All right, Rick. Thank you.
Thank you,
Great
Ross.
job. Covered it all.